The SARA model for homelessness. The SARA model is a problem-solving method used by police agencies to implement problem-oriented policing. The acronym SARA stands for scanning. S. During this, you want to identify, prioritize, and select problems that need addressing. Using both data from police and other sources as well as community and citizen input. A. Analysis. During this, you want to gather information and intelligence to identify underlying causes. Deeply analyzing the causes of the problem, including the underlying causes of repeated calls for service and crime incidents. R. Response. Determine and implement a response to the problem. Determining and implementing a response to a particular problem. Ideas for responses should be evidence-based when possible. A. Assessment. Evaluate the effectiveness of the response. Often the most ignored part of the SARA model. This requires assessing and evaluating the impact of a particular response and being willing to try something different if the response was not compatible. For the first step in my SARA model, I went over homelessness in Wenatchee. Growing up in Wenatchee, Washington, I didn't ever think that homelessness was a problem. Recently, we have seen a spike in homelessness in our community. We have a few different homeless housing places, but it's not secure housing, it's more of a camp. Shown below is one part of our town, and they're right next to the river, which tends to get extremely cold during the winter time, so they tried to place tarps on the side of the fence to block that wind, but it's not really much of a help. There are camps like this that are set up on each end of the town, and anyone who is experiencing homelessness is more than welcome to come and set up camp and have a safe place to stay for the night. However, there's not 24/7 supervision, which means many people are still doing drugs, which leads to overdoses, and also people have been sharing needles around where I live, which has been occurring more in those camps because there is no supervision. Homelessness is becoming an issue in our town because they are beginning to cause businesses problems, and we are finding drug paraphernalia close to public parks, schools, and playgrounds. Without areas for homeless people to go, the state has to pay to clean up after them. Cleaning up doesn't mean just garbage. It also means staff time, legal expenses, vehicle towings, equipment operations, and landfill costs. I have a close family friend that has a muffler shop close to downtown Wenatchee, and over the last few years he has been experiencing a lot of homeless problems around his business. The homeless people have broken into his business trying to find a warm place to stay. They have made his parking lot into a bathroom. He has gone as far to put up a chain link fence that's 10 feet tall so that the homeless people can no longer break into his residence for warmth. He does not have a problem with the homeless people, but the problems that the homeless people are causing to his business. It steers people away, and it scares them. It scares customers to bring their business there. The Wenatchee Rescue Mission. In 1984, Charles Hutchins came to visit relatives in Wenatchee. He befriended a homeless person while he was here, and after many days of getting to know this homeless man and understanding why he became homeless, he later found out that there wasn't a homeless shelter in Wenatchee. Hutchins found an old abandoned hotel and signed a 25-year lease not much time after that. With winter coming quickly and many people not having a warm place to go, Hutchins moved into the back room, and those without shelter came quickly to have a place to stay. The Wenatchee Rescue Mission aims to revolutionize how they assist those experiencing homelessness. Their primary focus is to make a positive impact on their community. With the help of their dedicated staff and volunteers, they strive to bring about change by offering aid, optimism, and opportunities that many people may not have being homeless in Wenatchee. the rise in homeless numbers. I read an article, and in 2023, Jason Taylor wrote an article on the rise in numbers of homeless populations. In Chelan and Douglas County, there's 105 unsheltered people, according to this article. Mayor Kuntz, who is the mayor of Wenatchee, says this number has increased from 25 to 30 people because of a group being sent here from another eastern Washington city. Mayor Kuntz will not specify what city, but based on the jump of numbers that happened over a 2-week span, he is certain that these people are getting bused or getting paid to come to a different city. As I said, Kuntz would not specify who or where these people were coming from, but the article did talk about how the Hope Foundation was shut down in Spokane and many people went back on the streets and were no longer able to find safe housing. The community and police feelings toward the homelessness. Many people around Wenatchee are getting frustrated with the homeless that are causing problems. The community understands that it is not a problem that is going to go away, but one we could do more about. Like I talked about earlier, my family friend that owns a business has become frustrated enough to build a 10-foot chain link fence around his business to make his customers feel safer about leaving their vehicles there. According to the Wenatchee World newspaper, the Wenatchee Police Department responded to 1,127 total homeless-related calls in 2021. The East Wenatchee Police Department did not handle as many, seeing around 300 total calls for homeless-related incidents. These calls cost the department $163,743. The department talks about how these kinds of calls could be addressed by mental health professionals. The police department understands that they do not handle mental health crises the way that they should, but they also understand that they're not being taught the right way how to handle them, and they want to be able to handle them in the correct way. They don't want to have to arrest the homeless that are in a mental health crisis. They want to be able to help them in the best way that they can. What can we do as a community? The Wenatchee Rescue Mission does a great job of giving the homeless a safe place to stay, warm food, and a warm shower. However, the homeless community needs more than that. Being homeless is not a crime. The things homeless do can be crimes. A lot of times when the homeless are arrested, it can cause a back and forth between getting arrested and getting released, and getting arrested, getting released. They need more. They need mental health professionals. They need to know jobs are available to them. The homeless are not homeless because they don't have a home. They're homeless because they've been forced into homelessness. They've lost a job. They've been through something extremely devastating and haven't been able to get back up on their feet. They've had a mental health crisis and have been let go from their jobs. They've been arrested. Many of the homeless people that we see around Wenatchee just need a helping hand to get that foot in the door and help take that first step back into being a working citizen. I believe that a good way to help the homeless start that first step and get back into the community and get back into working a job would be something like a job fair or like a career clinic. Most career clinics are put on at colleges. However, it seems that many businesses around Wenatchee are looking for people that want to work, and they don't need a degree for that. Putting on a job fair when people are able to come and fill out applications, talk about what's needed for the job, and talk to others about what they want from this. It also creates a safe space for those looking to work to come and get a job and start getting back on track. A job fair might give someone the extra push that they need to understand that they can do it and nothing's holding them back except for themselves. If we were able to hold a job fair maybe once, twice, 3 times a year for those that are experiencing job loss or homelessness, I think we could really start to integrate the homeless people back into being the working people that they once were before they caught on to bad times. It could be extremely challenging getting the word out about this. However, I believe that we could get the police departments involved and have them give out flyers for the job fair so that the homeless are aware. We also can utilize the Wenatchee Rescue Mission. If we need donations, the Wenatchee Rescue Mission does a lot of fundraising and probably would be open to that idea. This does not solve the problem of homelessness, but could be a step in the right direction. Getting the homeless back into the community will help them realize what they needed to get back on their feet. I think getting the police departments involved in this will also make it known that the police departments are on their side and are not trying to get rid of them or make them go somewhere else. They're just there to help, and they're trying to get this person back on their feet, even though they might not know them at all. It's just an offer to a helping hand instead of pushing them out. My overall assessment of the SARA method with homelessness would be that creating a job fair a few times a year can help the homeless community by getting them back on their feet again. One of the biggest factors to homelessness is losing your job and not being able to find something else. Putting the thought of a job in the homeless people's hands, they will start to believe that they can be better and get better and be back to where they were before. This may also take away from the police getting so many homeless related calls. The homeless don't need to be put in apartments, but they do need a place to get back on their feet. The homeless people aren't asking for handouts, they're just asking for a hand. And I think that if we could start offering that hand in different ways other than offering these places to pitch a tent or places to get a warm shower and a warm meal and then having to go somewhere else, I think if we start offering the help to get them better and get them back to where they once were before they entered homelessness, I think it would be a lot more helpful for them, and we might see a decrease in the homeless population in Wenatchee.